Oh boy, my thing's not even on. Hello, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Craps with John. I'm still getting set up here. How y'all doing? Let's see. Where are we at? We're on Tuesday. I got some bad lighting in here. I'm not sure what's happening with the lighting, but let's whatever. You know what I look like. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Darksider. Darksider, you changed your color. I'm used to seeing you with the green background. I got to do for you, honestly, what I did for Waylon. So this is a funny story that goes back a couple of years to when Waylon, before Waylon even had a channel. You guys didn't know. Why is this thing so, there we go. Brightness, bright light, bright light. How about that? Does that look better? Yeah, before Waylon had a channel, Jeff will tell you the story too. He used to email us all the time. He drove us nuts. You got to do this. You got to do that. Try that. You got to, and we would do a Waylon strategy like that we got over email. We do it wrong and he'd yell at us and all that kind of stuff. And I said, dude, why don't you start your own channel? Right? Just start your own channel. We keep messing up your stuff. Start your own damn channel. And so when did I do that? I made him a logo. I made the Waylon's Way Craps, the one you see him, you know, the circle. It says, I play Waylon's Way, the 4 and 10 all day. I made him that logo as a joke. I did it because in the chats, you would see him as WS in a green circle. And I'm like, we got to get you a logo, dude. So I made him a logo. He changed his little logo here to the thing you see today. And like 6 months later, he started a channel and the rest is history. He's internet famous now. But yeah, Darksider, you're next. I'm going to make you a little logo. I'll make you a little logo and you can change your icon. Instead of being a D, you can be something awesome. How about that? Let's make you something awesome and you'll stand out from the crowd, right? Which I know you want the spotlight on you all the time, right? Is that, no, you don't. But I'm still making you a logo. Cool. Mark the point, by the way, Ryan. I meant to tell you this before. The logo here, by the way, is very cool. I love your logo that you have now. And like a lot of you guys, right? We recognize you through your logos. Jeff's, obviously, instantly you know that it's Jeff. Mine, instantly you know that it's me. I think it's good. Like once you're out here and we're all buds, it's good to see these logos pop up and kind of know who's who, right? Anyway, I like the fact that I can read yours, right? California Crafts Club, Ron, yours is awesome too, right? Again, it's obvious. You see the palm tree, you know who it is. Like, and I kind of like that. It's like you get this sort of what's the word I'm looking for? You get sort of this homey feeling. I come to work every day to talk to y'all, and I see the same sort of logos out there. And it's like, yeah, it's like family poker night or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You had to create a channel. Oh, I wonder if YouTube is making. Does YouTube make you like have a channel to have an account now? They might be changing some stuff. They do that. They actually like having a YouTube account automatically gets you a channel. It's weird. So now I think everybody has a YouTube channel that has an account, which is goofy. And it picked Violet. Yeah, we got to get you something cool. Now, 42 pips, same thing. We got to get you 42 pips. We got to get you something awesome, right? Something awesome for a logo. Anyway, all that is neither here nor there. It's Tuesday morning. I'm celebrating because we had a little paycheck this morning, which was great. My class at work went really good. Yesterday we started a new cohort, so I'm all happy and good. Let's get the show started, and I'm gonna what happened there? Not that. I want to do this. I want to kick things off with a little announcement, and I'll have a little 15-second spot here almost every day for this. But Premier Hosting, who I'm a member of, and a proud member of Premier Hosting. We are holding a Craps Cruise. It's actually Dice Cruise 3 is the name of it. We're going to be, as you can see here, leaving Galveston, Texas in April, late April next year. It's going to go through Honduras and Mexico. Howard Rock and Roller, myself, Michael Feldman. It's going to be playing dice with us on the tables, obviously. There's going to be 3 days of instruction. We've got a table that we can use on the off hours of the casino to give lessons out there. So it's going to be like a little clinic plus a thing. Qualified players, of course, all you're paying for is port fees. So just get yourself to Texas, pay whatever the port fees are, and you're on the boat, okay? Talk to me. My phone number is here, 702-518-6442. Give me a call or a text or an email, john@procraps.net. If you're interested in doing this, we have, of course, it's a cruise, right? So there's only so many rooms, so limited spots. If you want to do this with us, let me know. It's going to be a pretty cool trip. Me personally, my first cruise ever. I've never been on a cruise. I've bought a cruise. I've given it away. I've been offered a couple of free cruises and have not taken them just because of life circumstances, but this is my first time on a boat. So I'm looking forward to this from that level alone, plus being cloistered with everybody for the better part of a week will be super fun too. So if you want to do this thing, you let me know, and I will hook it up and make it happen for you. Again, it's a premier hosting event that we're one of my first official ones after this Super Bowl or this football game that we're doing in a week and a half. All right, what's on today? We are going to talk Storm a little bit again. I'm going to continue our chat about situational play, specifically with working the three-phase system. And I've got this like weird love-hate with all of it right now. And so, I know that I come off sometimes confident, cocky, arrogant, know-it-all, whatever you want to call me on some of these things. I know that I come off that way sometimes. I'm really much more open-minded than you think I am. And I actually wrestle with this stuff a lot. And I know that like what I show, like today I'm going to show something that's not new, but I wrestle with when to do things. I wrestle with how to play the stuff. I wrestle with timing. I wrestle with a lot of things. And I think part of our show here is to open that up with you and really be honest about where I struggle. And because we all kind of struggle together on some of the same things. I think part of what we're doing here is this journey where we are kind of learning and growing together on some of this stuff, right? So let's look at a couple of things. First of all, let me unpack the Storm. We're day 2. Okay, we got kicked yesterday for 260. Today we won $320, right? So we're up $60. We lost yesterday because, and as you know, I am the hole finder, right? I will find the problem with your strategy. I promise you I will. I will roll the dice and I'll find the ways to lose. I'll also find the sweet spots. So I'm not always super negative. The Storm's hole is what's highlighted in green here. It is the big odds, right? Now, there are people in the world. Some of them are my best friends. I have played this way. Don't pass max odds. That's the only way you play. $50 and 180. 50 and whatever, right? That's all day long. Just rock the don't all day long. You buckshot the point. It is what it is, right? You go back and eventually the don't pass will recover. It will make its money back, right? That's a way to play. This strategy plays that way at its core. It's a don't pass with max odds, right? Which I should be happy about. As a dark side leaning player, I should be happy about that. However, the other side of the Storm is that big across bet, the 204 across. And you're needing the don't, you're trying to get out of the don't, right? This is one where the don't pass is there for a super short period of time, 2 rolls or so. Get yourself out of the hand. Get your 2 hits up top, take your $100 off the table, and now you're left with an across bet and a don't bet. The odds come back. It's great when that works out. Today it worked out every single time. I think 4 shooters I made the $100. Easy squeezy. That's why we got out of there, right? The last shooter we 7'd out and ended up losing a little bit. That's why I was at 350. We made our $100 every single time. It was no problem this day. There are days, yesterday, 2 days last week, where I whacked those odds 2 or 3 times, and it's hard to come back from that, right? When you're on the don't for massive odds and you're trying to be a right side player, it's there for that hedge, you kind of hate the don't. And the way that I've been shooting, which has been a little bit better in terms of my results, it's not been conducive to be a don't player. So I've been actually kind of hurting myself a little bit on these don'ts. And it's been frustrating from that regard. I'm finding that the 50 for 1 twice, I can do that. And today's a good example, right? We did that 4 out of 5 times. I did it 4 times. One time we didn't get it. I got a phone, man. We didn't get it once, which was fine. We tied on the don't, which is okay. That's $400, right? If you can keep pulling that move off, right? That's $400. Nothing to sneeze at, right? So I'm starting to like wonder, once I get past that first phase, do I want to keep playing or not? Do I want to keep playing the across bet and let it rock out? Or do I want to just say, let's do it again and just get it done twice, right? That's kind of where my head is. So I'm toying with this idea. I love the Storm as a come out play. I really do. I don't love being left at 64 across and that's all I got to get it on. right? When you're doing your three-phase play, and the storm is the base of that. The storm is your getting out phase, right? It is this. If I oh my gosh, what is all that? That's school. The storm is here. Can I write on my screen here, please? Where's my thing? Oh, it's black. Jeez, hold on. Let's do that. This is the storm, right? This works great. However, there are times when I whack the point and buckshot myself that it goes really negative. And that's where I've had a tough time with it. I've had a tough time buckshotting the point, but by and large, today's a good day. Today we had 4 out of 5 people make it. Yesterday, I had, I think, 3 out of 5 people make it. One of the ones that didn't make it was a whack. Actually, 2 of them were whacks on the point. It's a good get out strategy. Here's where we are struggling, okay? And this is where I want to focus this week on how do you get up after you're even. And we're going to go to my table and take a look at some options here. But the storm gets us even, right? $50 on the don't, $50 playing, $30 in the rack locked, right? And we're in a quote unquote good spot at this point. What do you do next? And I'm struggling with this because I would love to just focus on this lock, right? We got locked in once today. We had our 54 across, we got locked in one time, and we pulled like $60 off the table from the 54, started pressing, got 7 down, got nothing out of it, right? And there's this real, if you're playing for a paycheck, there's a real angst to that. And if you follow what I'll show you at the table again what I mean by that. There's a real factor that we're in here. But we are looking at three-phase play, which is get even, get a little bit of profit locked up, and then we do the crazy go off, right? I'm having trouble getting up right now. I'm having trouble locking in a profit, a decent profit after the roll. So it's good that we're exploring this week. I think this is the perfect week to do this, and because the storm is putting us there. So we lock up a profit on the shooter. The storm, when you get your 50 for 1 twice, it locks up a shooter profit. It does. In fact, the storm locks up exactly, most of the time, $34 in shooter profit. I will show you this at the table, right? It locks in $34 for the shooter. Then you're going here. How do we get our session profit? How do I take the next 4 or 5 rolls, lock in what I was hoping to get for the whole session? Okay, $34 is not going to be it. In my case, it's $250. I need my next set of rolls to get me to $250. And that's where I want to focus us this week on. What are your short-term goals? Do you have short-term goals like this? Shooter profit, session profit, or are you just going to run and gun, right? And I'll give you 2 examples of runners and gunners, right? Ed from Roll to Win and JB, Myopia Movie, are 2 guys that don't care. They're not looking to necessarily regress to get even. They aren't looking to, 2 hits and down and then start going. They're just going, right? JB plays 120 inside or 1200 inside, depending on bankroll. But 120 inside, right? 30, 30, 30, 30. And he has a pattern that he presses to. Ed plays this 6 and 8, spreads out, presses up. He has this pattern of pressing that he does where he's hitting or hammering the numbers that he's throwing, right? They never worry about regressing down to base and then getting started like I do. I'm very focused on getting down to a base and then starting out. However, the problem with that, as you'll see, is this. You need to same bet for a minute, which, as I said on Monday, no shame in same bet, no shame in pulling money off that table, right? But that's 3 rolls and you got your little bit of a lock, 3 rolls in. Now you have quote unquote permission to go. Most likely you're 7 rolls in at this point. If you've same betted to lock, you're 7 or 8 rolls in. 7's coming soon, right? And you're not going to really see the goodness of that hand, perhaps, right? If you do something like we're going to do today, which is more of a slow crawl, right? Change up a little bit, go low volatility for a hot minute, and let the roll emerge and say, well, I'm going to reduce my exposure here a little bit, lock up a little bit extra on the shooter, and let the roll emerge around me. By playing something low volatility. Switch to a Molly or a Johnny. Switch to a Cum Ladder or a Southern Border or Blender or something that's just going to eke you through it and make sure that you get your lock. Now, that's going to cost you what? Time and rolls. These slow crawls, and by the same token, the same better, that's going to cost you 4 or 5 rolls after you're even to get that mythical session lock in place. Okay? You're going to miss out. You're going to be on a 50 roller, you're going to be 10 rolls backwards. Everybody else will be 10 rolls ahead of you. Your pressing pattern starts way late. You won't see the power of that roll. However, on the 80% of rolls that are not the monsters, you're going to make more money than everybody else has, right? So Mark the Point did a show the other day, I think yesterday, same better versus presser, right? We've talked about this a million times. Same betters beat pressers in the short rolls, right? Single unit pressers beat full pressers in the medium-sized rolls. The full pressers hammer the world on a monster roll, right? So all those different things, right? Those different sequences of events, who wins in what situation, right? And we're looking at, again, these little tiny windows of time. I'm looking at the shooter, if I go back a screen here, and I'm looking at the shooter in 3 roll segments. 3 rolls to get even, 3 or 4 rolls to get up, and then we see what happens. So I'm trying to get us within 8 rolls at a stable and happy place. Does that make sense? Okay. So here we go. I'm going to put a couple of notes up here. Let me just hit some, because there are some people that are talking about some interesting things. So let's go PC and let's see what y'all are saying real quick before I go to the table. Darksider had to make it. Oh, you had to make a Google channel. Oh, you had to make a Google account to comment and chat. Really? Is that a thing? They're making you make Google accounts now? I didn't know that. Wow. MSP, how many days is the cruise? Let me go back real quick before I go to the table. The cruise is April. I think it's a 7-day cruise. I'll double check. I think it's 7 days. It doesn't have it on here, but it's I'm 90% sure it's a 7-day event. Dan says, I can attest to the fact I'm a nice person in real life. Yes, I am. We could go to 96 across. That's a really good point. Let me get forward here. We certainly could go to 96 across instead of 64 across. That accelerates it a little bit, but it does remove all the profit for sure. But point well taken there. Old Bay says, play the storm once I know what it's doing, not when I first walk up unless I have a large bankroll. Well, you know me, right? I don't worry about what a table's doing. I look at every person on the table as the next new shooter, right? The person who just threw the dice, then maybe the 3 people that threw the dice ahead of that guy were all terrible, and it was a super cold table. But the next person, is a brand new. It's a reset. Every body is a reset. I look at it that way. So I don't look at table temperature. I really don't. If it's going to happen, it's going to happen. And the storm actually makes you money on a cold table anyway. It does make a little bit of money on a colder table. Let's see. Duracell says, if I'm playing the storm, collect my 250 for 1. I should be around roll 6, then do any pressing schedule. So you're saying playing the storm, then collect 250 for 1s. You want me to do it a second time? Is that you're suggesting doing it twice? Because that's a possibility too. I mean, you can definitely go 50 for 1 twice, pull the odds and do it again and be in a great spot. There's a food for thought. All right, let's head to the table and do a slow crawl. Okay, that is not very bright, is it? Well, it's going to have to do. I'm not sure why. The cameras today are not playing very well. Let's go a little bit like that. All right, there we are. Cool. Let's do it. I have the table set here, but I want to show you again. And I know that I'm fixated on the storm, but that's the strategy that's in front of us this week. Let me set this up and we'll do it. I want you to see exactly where we land in the rack so we can make our proper decisions. Here is $1,000 in the bank. There's $500, $600, $700, $800, and here's $205. Okay, so it's $1,001 in the rack. Okay, we're gonna go set up our 204 across. Let me get my reds out of here. I'm gonna set us up ahead of time. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. I'll take this. We'll get the whites. There's 204 across with a penny change. The next $100 becomes our don't pass, okay? With 50 in the rack. Now, I'm gonna fudge this. We're gonna totally pretend that this works. For the rest of the day, whatever happens right now is what's gonna be what happens. Let's pretend we hit the 9 twice. It doesn't matter what happens for real. The point's 10, whatever. We have our 180 or against the 10. We have $200 in odds, okay? Let's play the storm. The 9 rolls. It pays 50 for 1, okay? Put that in the rack. We're gonna pull our 4 and 10 back. I'm gonna get nickels for that and reduce the risk, okay? Now, in the storm at this point, I pulled $80 off the table in total. My winnings plus a little bit of a regression there, which means I now have 42 and 42, 84, 94, 104 plus 50, 154 on the inside, plus the outside, 164, 174 in play, okay? I've pulled money back off the table. This covers me. Okay, that's hit number 1. Hit number 2 of the 9, again, we'll pay 50 for 1. I'm just gonna put 50 bucks out here for right now. Remember that we owe the world $1. I don't wanna deal with pennies right now, but 50 for 1, and you bring everything else back. Okay, here's where the storm leaves you. Minus the 10, of course, right? Because the 10 would have been the point. So here we are. We're at 54 across, okay? I'll bring back my odds. I don't need the odds anymore. I'm gonna color up what I have here in front of me. There's one, 275 bucks. Okay, so let's take 200 bucks back to the rack. There is $975 in the rack. Okay, minus the 5 has to come. Sorry, my bad. That I didn't pull the 5 down. There's another black. That's our starting bankroll. The starting bankroll is right there. Okay, you're recouped completely. Okay, what I end up with is $54 across and a $50 don't. That is $104. That's the 50 for 1 twice. That's where we are at this point. The question is, what do you do next? And what we've been doing is saying, well, we've been here, let's play it out. Let the 7 beat the 10, fine. Let's look for a monster roll here, fine. Same bet 3 or 4 times and you're out. What I'm gonna do every day with us is set us up right here. We're at 54 across with 50 on the don't, okay? What do you do next? Now today we're gonna look at a slow crawl method, okay? One thing I can do is get out of here, right? Lock the 50. Lock the 50 in my rack, let the don't pass stand. That's option 1. Another option I've got, especially with a point of 10, is to buy the 10 for 30 bucks or 35 bucks, right? We buy the 10 for 35. That locks me in. 15 bucks on a 7, right? 35 pays 70, 20 bucks on a 10. That's a good little lock and kind of get rid of the don't pass, right? You can always eliminate this bet as a thing if you want to. But really what I'm after here is what's the next best move? Well, one thing you can do is, again, taking this bet out of commission. If you want to hedge it off, that's fine. If you want to pull it, I'm okay with you pulling the bet. Don't tell anybody I told you that. But you can pull the bet down and just say, okay, it did its job. That was there for a minute to do its job. I'm going to switch out of that, okay? One thing you might do is go Southern Border with me. Remember the Southern Border strategy, right? Where it's 3 units in the DC. What happens here? If a 7 rolls here, sure, you lose your DC bet, but this is like kind of saving that bet, right? Let's roll it out. That goes to the 10, of course, right? So we'd lose our don't. But the Southern Border, fine. It goes to the 10. Lost your don't, sucks, but whatever. 7 on the come out is a winner for you. The point goes to 4. Low volatility, so it's 2 units here. It's another 2 unit don't bet, which is good. That goes to the 6. Sorry, those both go behind. And then you make a little 2 unit come bet. Pull back your 3. I'm still even, right? That goes to the 8. And now we're playing. We got 2 don'ts and we got 2 don'ts and a do. There's the 7. We lose our 8. We win on the 6. We win on the 10. And lo and behold, made money on that shooter. You made 50 bucks right there, right? That's a simple way, low volatility spin, to increase what you pulled off the table, right? Now we got 50, 65, almost 70 bucks off the table instead of the 35 that we had to start that round with, right? Going low volatility post getting even ain't a bad thing to do, okay? We can reset that again. Again, I'll keep resetting it. We had 54 and 50, okay? Now again, another way to go low volatility, let's put the point back at 10 again, where it was. Pull the don't if you want to. You don't need to have a don't pass, okay? And again, you want to leave the don't there and do your 30 bucks up here. It's all the same. For now, I'm just going to hide the money. Easy to go ahead and do a little come ladder, right? Again, these are simple, low volatility plays. 2 units, 3 units here. That goes to a 6. That's 3, 4, 5. I need 6 units out here, so it's going to be 30 bucks. 25, 30 bucks. And there's my 7. Come ladder works perfectly again. You lose these 2. That's 25. But you're going to win an extra nickel coming through. Come ladder, like it does, earns you the extra nickel. And now you're set up. 7's over. Start the whole thing again. You pulled back an extra couple of bucks, right? Simple ways to be low volatility and run through it. Again, let's stay with that point of 10. Okay? I might pull the don't and do a more normal come betting system. Maybe I even do come field. Ooh, right? Something a little bit like that. There's a 7. So we end up getting a little knock. Nothing happens there. But switch to a molly. I don't have a problem, and I may do this tomorrow again, taking the don't down and just going, again, if we were in the come here, there's a little payment. 7s are hot right now. Again, we're working on the 10 is the point, pretending, right? Let's do a little molly. Come to the 4. Come with odds. A traditional molly, single odd molly, right? 415. It goes up. We're coming with 10. We'll do 15 in odds. There's a 5 that pays off. That's nice, right? That's nice. So that's going to be off and on. Basically what happens here is this comes down. The come bet moves. We get paid flat. 3 pays 4. That should have been 16 bucks. I'm sorry. That should have been 16. That pays 25 for 1. Can actually do it like 25 for 1 is how they would probably pay that. All that's off, right? You go back up there with another $16 in odds there. $15 come bet, increase your level, and let the molly run its course and do its thing, right? This is great. The 4 comes down. It gets paid 10 flat. It gets paid 20 on those odds. 15 bucks goes up. 15 bucks goes up. Right? Now you're in here for 20. Right? Every come bet that wins, just go up by a unit and just keep on hammering this damn thing until it rolls out. This is a simple way. There's 20. With 20, we'll let three bets run. And we got a 7, of course. But there's a nice little way to kind of go after a shooter, right? And actually, if you look at what's out here, those come bets that we all make fun of, right? There's $100 in action out there from those come bets that we just got, right? We just kind of ripped them through. Had we not done them all, there's $100 in the rack that those things generated, right? That's not a terrible way to play after you're kind of set. I don't like the Molly system as my walk up to the table play, but I don't mind it at all if it's my play when I'm up a little bit, when it's taken 6 rolls to get my even, right? If it takes 6 rolls to get there, and I'm like, let's just ride something low volatility, simple way to play it out, right? A little bit of Southern Border, don't come, don't come, come. A little bit of come ladder, where every come bet is a unit more than what you've got in action. A little bit of a Molly, right? Why not even? And again, let's get back to where we were, $54, right? Here's 54 bucks that came off the table. Don't pass plus 54 bucks to me, these whites go away, is an obvious Horseman, right? It's 3, right? It's a 2-to-1 Horseman, or it could be a 4-to-1 Horseman, right? Let's see, if we just go 2-to-1, look where we are. Let's roll it out. Point is 10 still, right? Again, ignore the 7s. So we'll obey them when they happen, but ignore them for here. Pretend we're out of our hand. We have our 54 bucks plus this. Point is 10, 15 to the 9, right? We're playing the Horseman now. Low volatility play. That's the second time we've picked our point, which blows. But that goes away, goes to the 10, puck is off, okay? Your next bet in the Horseman could be a pass line bet, or you could wait, either way. Pass line bet or wait it out. We catch a yo, which is fantastic, right? Bam, we'll stack that right on top. Make that a hammer play, why not, right? Goes to the 5, let it roll out. Can that 54 bucks look like something special? Maybe. Getting whacked on that don't pass sucked, right? Another aces. Look at that, 2 aces in a row. 2 aces. There's a 6, hard 6. There's another one. It's a 5. Cool, that's our point. Remember, we got the yo, and we stacked the point. So we have 30 bucks on that thing, right? There's a quarter. So there's the 54. There's the 50 we lost on that don't. That just came back to us, which is nice. Right back to the don't pass with 15 bucks. We got our 50 bucks back. Now we're playing still cheap and free. There's a 4. Okay. Let the Horseman do its thing, right? The Horseman is an interesting strategy, right? Even though it starts out a little bit dark. There's the 9 coming down and getting paid. And again, on the Horseman, I don't necessarily keep the bets rolling, right? Each bet's got a job to do. And if it does its job, fantastic. There's a 9. We have bets on the 4 and the 10, really. Look at the 10 paying off again today. The 10 has been the number, man. That comes down. Give me a 4. Give me a 4, shooter. Come on, you can do it. Give old Johnny a 4. Let's call this a win for the day, right? An 8. I just dropped a couple of chips on the ground. I dropped the chip yesterday during the show and I forgot about it. And my dog Gino, I hear crunch, 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 crunch out in the other room, and he's out there chewing on a freaking chip. Such a booger. All right, there's an 8. Give me a 4, please. Give me a 4. We'll count this thing up. There's a yo. Chiro. Another 8. Boy, oh boy. Could have been rolling this thing, right? The Horseman, I don't typically roll the numbers, but a Molly would have been rolling there and winning on those 11s and 8s. We lose that. But where did we end up, right? We had 50 bucks that we had lost earlier. We had 54 to start the hand, and that's 55. So we ended up making 15 bucks on that deal, right? We had a little bit of fun, made 15 bucks. Had we not whacked the frickin' 10, you're in better shape. Those aren't bad low volatility plays after you're even. There's no rule that says when you're even, you got to go for the hammer. When you're even, your goal ought to be, I think, lock up what you had out here. So if I'm out here for 54 bucks, I want to turn the 54 bucks into another 54 bucks. Double that thing up somehow. Then I feel like I have permission to go hard. So use the first couple rolls like the storm to get out of the hand and be playing for free. Use what you're playing for free with to earn that much money back. Then we go. That's phase 2. Phase 2 should be trying to earn 50 bucks. We actually did earn all this. Our phase 2 play there actually earned $110 because we lost 50. Remember, we lost 50 bucks? We actually earned $110 in our phase 2 play. And I just pulled that don't. We've been fine there. So anyway, there it is. That's another way of looking. Tomorrow, I'm going to look at some other ways to play after you're even. But again, after you're even, remember where we are in this strategy. We have 50 on the don't, and we have 55 bucks, 54 actually, to play with. What do you do with the 104 that you've got? Somebody said in chat, take this down to 96 across. Totally fine. Totally fine to do that. You've earned 100 bucks through your play. play the $100 how you want to play it. I would like to see us turn the 100 into another 100 before I do anything after that. That's my sort of like self-stated kind of measured goal on the thing. So there it is. That's another way. Let's go back over here. That's another way of slow crawling it, right? Or another way of getting out. So once you're up, once you're out, we get up by either super slow rolling it, same old for a couple of rolls, right? That's 3 shots and you double up your spread. Do a slow crawl, jump into something that's more rhythmic. The Molly is nice and rhythmic. I mean, it sucks as a go-to strategy out of the gate, but it's a great rhythm strategy once you're in a roll. I love playing that way once I'm in a roll and I'm up. It really does capitalize well on a longer roll without requiring that you manage and press. Just do your thing. Just stack the wins as you go. So anyway, it's a thing in your tool belt that you can pull out whenever you feel like it. So there's that. Let's see, what else we have? Dark side of PC thinks they are a myth. They are an absolute myth. They are a myth. You know I think this, and I can prove it. They are a myth. There's no such thing as a trend in random stuff. I got to say that like with periods after every word. Random things do not trend. They happen in clusters, though. You will find a whole bunch of 6s that happen at a time. It does not mean that the 6s come in next. And that's, I think, where we have to all be honest about that. Please be honest about that. I love you, Miguel, but let's be honest about that, right? Random guy shaking a bacon that threw 3 6s does not mean a 6 is coming next. There's no law of nature that says that that's happening. Now, if George from CY, who threw 87 rolls yesterday without a 7, if he's got his locked in, I 100% believe he's creating a trend. I don't believe that right what I just did there's any trending in that. So no, I don't believe that. And I love you guys. You know I do. You're my favorite people in the world. We could debate this kind of stuff all day long, but that's just law of nature. Sorry that that's the way it is. You will find your clusters. You will make money in the clusters. You have to bet hard when things are in that repeat phase, but there's no causality to it. Just don't get locked into the causality piece. That's the thing that kind of drives me nuts. There's no causality to that, what you're seeing. It's just happening. When it's happening, you have to bet it. I say this all the time. Ed's 100% right. When the 5 is rolling, bet the frickin' 5. Don't bet the 5 because it happened. You should have already been on it, and you keep hitting it as it's coming, and you'll capitalize on the wave that's forming. That's the way you do that. That's trend betting, but it's not really a trend. It's just you're catching a wave. Let's do it. All right, guys. And patterns too, right? Patterns also, don't exist. And I think this is an important thing to say. Trends don't exist in randomness, nor do patterns. Right, and I should bring a psychologist on here to talk about this with us, because your brain wants to apply patterns to things. Like we as humans suck. What time is it? We as humans suck at categorize. We have to categorize things. Humans, what separates us from animals is exactly that. We categorize things. We compartmentalize things. We organize things. Right. That's why we have technology. That's why coders like me and IT people have ways that make things work. We see this, we do that. There's a flow chart to life, right? In the tech world. It's what makes it happen, right? In nature, in randomness, right? Snowflakes, there are no 2 snowflakes alike, right? There are no 2 raindrops that are the same size. When 2 raindrops fall from the exact same distance, they make a different splash pattern. There is no such thing as an actual pattern occurring in nature or in randomness. And if you're just hucking and chucking dice, you are completely random. Now, you may form a pocket. You may form a cluster of outcomes, but there's no pattern to it. And by pattern, I mean, you're not going to go 669, 669, 669. That's a pattern. Or pass win, don't pass win. Pass win, don't pass win. That's a pattern. We see those patterns in Baccarat and roulette all the time. Red, black, red, black, red, black, red, red, black, red, red, black. Those patterns happen, but they aren't predictable. And I think that when I talk about trend betting and patterns, and I talk about what I'm getting at here is what I call bet predictability. You cannot predict what's going to happen based on previous events. And you shouldn't put your money out there based on your ability to predict what's going to happen. It just doesn't, it's not a thing. Now, if something's happening and you're betting what's happening and you keep betting it and maybe increase your bets as you go, that's a different way of quote unquote catching it. catching a wave, catching a streak, catching a pattern. That's what we always talk about. I think we get convoluted in the wording sometimes. And that's what I really want us to make sure that we're talking through. Trending and patterning, they feel real, but they aren't, right? And I think you can bet them and make money with them, but it's not, it's an illusion that you're actually seeing a pattern. I hope that makes sense. It's not meant to be negative. It's just the reality of it. Recognize what's happening, right? Bet what's happening, but don't bet on it like you're predicting it. I think people get sucked into this idea, and not just who I'm talking to in chat. I think people in general get sucked into the idea. Watch it more so at other games. Like craps is not so much known for this, but like roulette with the board, baccarat with the board, people see the patterns and they start betting the pattern. And I'm telling you, it's a fool's errand. It really is. And I think craps with the dice, we get sucked into like what you think is going to come, and it's just not, unless you're actually creating it yourself. And I think there are people that can create the patterns, but most people that are just doing this aren't creating shit. They're just out there getting lucky, man. And that is it. Yes, it is 100% an illusion. Now, gut instinct is an illusion to some degree. Now, here's another psychological thing for you. I just gave a lecture on this yesterday, actually, to my students. We had a lecture on, this is going to get political for a minute, so everybody buckle up. We just gave a lecture on bias and stereotypes and equality yesterday. And I think you have to trust your instincts to some degree. Now, if you're walking in a dark area in the middle of a city with a $100 bill hanging out of your pocket, you're inviting something bad to happen. But if your hair stands up, if you're walking around and all of a sudden your hair stands up, right? That's an instinct. That is your body is sensing something that's not right. And your hair stands up and it's an early warning sign. That's your gut telling you something's about to go down. Hide your money, right? You can have in the reactions that you get, right? When you watch the news, okay? Regardless of what side of anything that you happen to be on, you watch the news, a story happens, and you have that moment, right? Again, hair stands up, your heart rate changes. That's your instincts kicking in. Your instinct is to not agree with what you just saw. Or your instinct is to go, yeah, when you see it. You can't control that. Those are uncontrollable body reactions, right? Again, stereotypes, bias is part of that. When you're at the table and you see 9, 9, 9, 9, your instinct says, hop the 9, get on the field, right? Your instinct says that's happening. I can see it. It's literally right there in front of me, right? That's your instinct. And that's what you're saying, Craig. Is gut instinct an illusion? Should you be hopping numbers when this happens? Should you be looking at the pips, 42 pips? Should we be looking at the pips and saying, oh my God, that guy had 4 dice, like me, I'm a great example. John just threw 4 times in a row with a 1 showing on one of the die. For me, sometimes that's 7, 8 times in a row. I'm known for that, right? For hammering those 1s with the chopper toss. You look at that and you say, my instinct says, wheel the 1s. Now, somebody else could look at that and say, dice control is bullshit. John's a random thrower. Every throw is independent. There's nothing that John just did. Those 4, 5, 6, 7 times I saw 1 on the top die, or on one of those die, has nothing to do with what's about to happen. This throw right here is an independent event, right? Your gut tells you, do what you just saw happen because you're a human. That's what humans do. Humans apply order to chaos. Our brains need to apply order to chaos. That's how we survive. That's how we are the dominant species. We apply order to chaos. We organize, we plan. That's how we are so great, right? That's what humans did. That's why we are the dominant. At the craps table, that's an illusion, right? Me throwing all the 1s. Now, again, I'm doing it on purpose. I'm trying to flick and get the 1s to stay. So it's a different situation. But Random Randy shaking and baking and throwing and seeing 5 pips on a die 5 times in a row, that next one, nothing at all should have you betting something with a 5 on it. He's lucky. He's getting into a weird zone. He ain't causing that at all. The next roll of the dice, you have the exact same chance of that happening. The exact same chance of that happening. You have a 1 in 6 chance here and a 1 in 6 chance on this die to see either of those die have a 5 on it. That doesn't change unless you're a controlled shooter. So yeah, it's an illusion. It feels real. It's an illusion in a random world. And that is the reality of it. I know that we hit these things sometimes and you feel great, but I'm telling you, it's an illusion. Love you, but it's an illusion. 42 pips. Trends are real. Can't predict. You cannot predict it. If you can't predict it, it ain't a trend. And I think that is the nugget here, right? Look at the stock market as a good example. The stock market has trend lines, right? Those trend lines are based on reality. They're based on a report comes out, or all of a sudden everybody's trading a certain stock. So the price trends in a certain direction based on what's happening. Based on what's happening in the moment, you can say that stock is likely to go up because of forces around it. I can predict where it's headed. I'm going to pull back for a second. In dice, you cannot say that. There's no force that's causing the 6s to come. The 11s, maybe Churro is the force that's causing our 11s to happen. But everything else, no. Unless you're shooting with control. And I think I got to caution us all the time about this stuff, right? Again, I'll give all the credit to the guys who are good shooters and are making things happen. That's a whole different discussion than random occurrences. I know we get stuck in this damn trend talk all the time because people love to use the word trend betting, and I get it, but I don't get it at the same time. Just call it what it is, right? It's a cluster. It's variance. It's whatever you want, whatever word you prefer there, but it ain't a trend. Anyway, wow, that was a total sidecar. I got to get out of here. It's work time. That was fun today, folks. Thanks for your questions, comments. Thanks for bringing that out there again. I love talking about that stuff. And I don't mean to come off as angry, bitter old man who's got to be right all the time. But please know the truth about this, right? There's mathematics to that. There's nature to that. There's legitimacy to what I'm saying. And I don't want us to get sucked in to predicting what's going to happen, especially in a random world. All right. That said, don't be random. Practice your throw. Get good. Get good and cause trends. Get good and cause the trend, please. Be trend setters, right? Be trend setters. Don't try and be a trend catcher. You'll never catch the chicken. Anyway, that's it, guys. God bless all of you. Love y'all so much. Thanks, y'all, for being here. And I appreciate every one of you. Every single one of you, I appreciate. And with that said, God bless. I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye.